Good morning, Alicia. You ready for this?
Morning, Jared. I am.
I feel like today's topic is going to take us somewhere, somewhere big, but also somewhere really gentle, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
I actually got a full 7.5 hours last night, which for me is a massive win and feels like a perfect energetic foundation for a deep dive into consistency.
That is a great baseline to start from. I'm absolutely ready. I've got my notes, my tea, and I'm focusing on that same gentle energy.
Oh, good.
I actually had a small moment this morning where I nearly let a text message completely derail my morning routine.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah, but I recognized that subtle feeling of urgency,
Mm.
that little tightness in my chest, and I set the phone down until I finished my quiet 15 minutes.
Wow.
And it felt like a small win for rhythm, which is exactly the energy we need to dissect today.
That subtle reentry, that recognition of the small tightness before it becomes whole collapse. That is the work, isn't it?
It is. It's everything.
Before we dive into the habits that support that, let's just start here with a simple invitation to anyone listening,
Mhm.
to ourselves, really. Just take a breath, and not a fixing breath, just a noticing one.
Yeah. Just notice where you are. Because today's conversation isn't about performing manifestation better or achieving alignment as if it were some peak performance.
Right. It's not a competition.
No. It's about how alignment is actually maintained in the practical, kind of messy reality of real life on regular days.
Especially on those days when nothing is dramatically wrong, but maybe something still feels just a little bit odd.
Like subtle static on the line.
Yeah.
We are so often conditioned to look for the big emotional peak, the intense aha moment, or, the grand sweeping gesture.
But the truth, the core realization we're really unpacking today
Mhm.
is that alignment isn't sustained through intensity.
No.
It's sustained through rhythm. We've seen this pattern again and again. Most people don't drift out of alignment because they fail dramatically at some big goal or face a huge crisis.
No, it's much quieter than that.
They drift because they stop tending to the small, steady habits that quietly bring them back to themselves. They lose the rhythm of the return.
And when you lose that rhythm, you lose your anchor. You become, so much more susceptible to external forces, the urgency of the inbox, the demands of other people, that pervasive feeling that you should be doing more.
Always doing more.
Always.
The mission today is to explore those non-glamorous, consistent practices that keep your internal frequency coherent enough for life to respond in a positive way. So if you've ever found yourself saying, I know what alignment feels like, I just can't seem to stay there, then this deep dive is going to fundamentally shift your perspective.
I think so. It moves alignment from this mysterious kind of ethereal state to something profoundly practical, repeatable, and actually biologically grounded,
Exactly. We're moving the conversation from the abstract idea of raising your vibration,
which can feel like a lot of pressure.
a ton of pressure, and moving it to the grounded practice of maintaining your frequency.
I love that. Maintaining, not achieving.
Okay, let's unpack this. And let's start with a story that really changed our understanding of this whole process. I want to linger here for a bit because this is where alignment quietly began to change everything for me. And I think for you too.
Oh, absolutely. The sleep story it's foundational to this entire concept of rhythm.
Yes. So there was a period where my days they were mostly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Productive, manageable, checking things off the list, dealing with challenges.
The usual.
The usual. But the nights told a completely different story. Falling asleep felt rushed and anxious. I'd finish the last email, grab my phone, check one last thing, then try to immediately switch off my brain.
Which, of course, never works.
It never works.
And what happens when you try to switch off a mind that hasn't been given a clear signal of safety is, it starts looping.
Looping is the perfect word for it.
Your mind replayed conversations you'd had during the day, rehearsed arguments that might happen tomorrow, zoomed through unfinished tasks.
Oh, the unfinished tasks.
And worried about all the little things that hadn't had a voice during the daylight hours.
That feeling of carrying residue into sleep is so powerful and so profoundly draining. It's like trying to reboot a computer without shutting down all the open programs first. The subconscious is still running all these high alert processes in the background.
And even on what you would call a good day. If you fall asleep stressed, you wake up with that emotional and physiological residue still there. It creates a baseline frequency of subtle anxiety before your feet even hit the floor.
Yes. Your nervous system never fully discharged.
Never. The body's state determines the mind's perspective, and if the body is subtly activated, you just start the day in a state of subtle resistance.
Exactly. And the powerful realization for me was that the shift didn't require some dramatic lifestyle overhaul or massive willpower. It was one single consistent habit every single night. Listening to a guided sleep meditation, a deep visualization, or sometimes that kind of hypnosis-style language that gently redirected my mind while my body softened into rest.
It was nothing demanding, right? No forcing concentration or anything.
Nothing, just consistency. And night after night, the same subtle shift occurred.
Yeah.
My nervous system learned it was safe to let go of the day's concerns. The mind stopped looping the worries because it was being gently guided away from them. And the truly breakthrough insight was this. Alignment didn't have to be achieved again each morning through sheer willpower or some intense morning practice. It was already being restored overnight.
Yes.
We realized in the deepest possible way that sleep isn't just recovery. Sleep is recalibration.
What's so fascinating here is the sheer power of lowering resistance. When you fall asleep in a guided, intentional state, you're not just resting, you're actively resetting your frequency.
Right.
You are clearing the static from the day, and you are gently realigning without the effort or the resistance of your conscious, overthinking mind.
And that's the difference between trying to do alignment and allowing alignment to happen.
Yes.
The nightly practice wasn't about giving myself more techniques to do. It was about giving myself a reliable, rhythmic way to return to myself every single night, letting alignment happen while my conscious mind just steps out of the way.
And think about the massive energetic power of that. I mean, for you listening, you have 8 hours where your conscious mind is not resisting, not overthinking, not trying to force or manifest anything. You are simply allowing your system to remember coherence. The one small habit pressing play before sleep, it becomes the anchor. It's the rhythm that holds everything else in place.
I want to inject a point of friction here, Alicia, because the analytical part of my brain immediately pushes back on this.
Oh, you could. Let's hear it.
If we define alignment by rhythm and consistent habits, doesn't that risk making our practices feel like another item on the checklist?
Ah, yes.
How do we prevent consistency from turning into obligation, which is the very definition of forcing something?
That is such a crucial question, Jared, and the distinction lies in the nature of the habit. If the habit is driven by obligation, I must meditate to manifest, it creates resistance. It becomes a burden.
Right. It's another should.
Exactly. But if the habit is driven by resonance and support, I return to this because it feels safe, familiar, and it supports my nervous system, then it doesn't add effort. It conserves energy. Aligned habits are designed to lower the stakes and lower resistance, not raise them.
I see. So it's the difference between an obligation to perform and a rhythm of self-care.
Precisely.
Small habit, massive energetic return, and consistency. That's the core lesson we carry forward into our framework. Let's expand this idea into our core teaching, because this is where ancient spiritual traditions and modern science, they achieve this remarkable agreement.
They really do.
Manifestation thrives on consistency, not force.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to fundamentally redefine what a habit means in this context. It's not just a repeated behavior you check off a list.
What is it then?
It's an automatic frequency setter.
An automatic frequency setter. I love that term. Explain what that means in practical terms for someone who might be, analytical about this.
Okay. In practical terms, it means the habit trains your nervous system what normal feels like. It teaches your brain which state to return to under stress or when something feels off. When the system faces novelty or perceived threat, its instinct is to return to the last known, most practiced baseline.
So if your baseline is stress.
If your most practiced baseline is rushed anxiety, that's your default. If your most practiced baseline is quiet regulation, that becomes your default.
When you analyze what aligned habits actually consist of, they almost always prioritize these internal receptive self-aware states. Rest, not just action.
Yes.
Clarity, not constant stimulation. Reflection, not reaction. And intention, not obligation.
This is the crucial reframe. Aligned people aren't necessarily doing more.
No.
They are returning more often to their baseline state of safety and coherence. They are maintaining the rhythm of their internal world.
Okay, let's delve deep into the science behind that return, because this is where the analytical mind finds the grounded proof it needs.
Yes, that's...
From the field of behavioral science and neuroscience, we know that habits form through repetition, not motivation. This is precisely what the research by Dr. Wendy Wood confirms. Motivation is fleeting, it's fickle.
so fickle.
Repetition is what builds the neural pathway.
And think about it. Motivation requires conscious effort and energy. Repetition creates a cognitive shortcut.
Shortcut.
Yeah, as Dr. Wood notes, when you repeat an action in the same context, say pressing play on a track right when your head hits the pillow, the context cues take over.
Yeah.
Your brain stops needing to decide to do the thing.
So it just becomes automatic.
It simply defaults to the action based on the location and the time.
That neural shortcut is what makes it an automatic frequency setter. It bypasses the conscious, effortful mind that is constantly trying to solve problems and introduces a moment of non-resistance. The brain wires what you return to most often. This is neuroplasticity in action. Practicing those micro-shifts, those small changes in state we talked about, it compounds over time and hardens into your regulated baseline identity.
And that regulated state is entirely dependent on the nervous system, which brings us directly to Dr. Stephen Porges's polyvagal theory. This work provides the biological roadmap for the concept of coherence.
Okay, unpack coherence for us, Alicia. For the analytical listener, what does that word mean beyond just feeling good?
Coherence in this context is the optimal state where your various bodily systems, your heart rate variability, your breath, your thought patterns are all working in this dynamic harmony. They're signaling safety to the system.
Okay.
And Porges teaches us that repeated regulation builds the safety through the ventral vagal complex, the newest part of the vagus nerve. When the system is engaged, the body registers that the environment is safe enough for you to relax, connect, be creative, and innovate.
So when we talk about being out of alignment, we're actually talking about being stuck in the older defensive parts of the system.
It's exactly.
The sympathetic fight or flight, or the dorsal vagal freeze or shutdown. And alignment is the rhythmic return to that safe ventral vagal state.
Exactly. Repeated alignment practices or rhythms teach your body to quickly return to that safe, coherent state.
Yeah.
And this coherence allows for creativity and responsiveness.
Which are the exact internal states required for truly aligned action and successful manifestation.
Yes. If you're constantly operating from a place of chronic, low-level sympathetic activation, you can't be creative or truly responsive. You'll just be reacting defensively to external stimuli.
And bringing it back to our story, the deepest insights from sleep science line up perfectly here. The work of researchers like Dr. Matthew Walker and Dr. Andrew Huberman confirms that sleep consolidates emotional learning, it actively clears neural noise, the static we referenced, and it resets baseline emotional and cognitive states.
This is the clinical confirmation of our spiritual observation. Sleep is literally neurological and emotional recalibration. During rapid eye movement, or REM sleep specifically, the body processes emotional memory in a state where the brain is chemically disarmed of stress-related neurotransmitters like norepinephrine.
So in simpler terms, you're processing the emotional intensity of the day without feeling the intense stress of it.
Exactly.
You're literally scrubbing the day's emotional residue from your system while you are fully receptive. The result is you wake up with a cleaner slate, closer to your inherent aligned frequency.
It's the scheduled maintenance for the frequency setter.
I love that. Okay, now let's cross the bridge into the spiritual and consciousness teachings, because we find the exact same architecture just framed differently. For example, Neville Goddard focused so heavily on the power of assumption and repetition, particularly when entering sleep. Unpacking Neville's work, he stressed the concept that the repeated assumption of a desired state, especially when you're entering that non-resistant state of sleep, it hardens into fact. It becomes your waking reality.
That's right. Sleep is the most powerful entry point for subconscious reprogramming because your conscious resistance is lowered.
It's offline.
It's offline. When you fall asleep deeply immersed in the feeling of having what you desire, or the feeling of safety and alignment, that state is consolidated by the brain overnight, making it easier to return to the next day. This directly supports the idea of sleep as the ultimate recalibration tool.
And Abraham Hicks teaches us that alignment is a state of allowing, not effort.
Yes.
If you are exhausted from trying to force manifestation or constantly trying to fix your mood, you have entirely missed the point of getting into the receptive mode.
And that receptive mode is the low resistance state, the state our sleep track story illustrated.
And if we link Hicks back to Porges, we understand that the physical mechanism of allowing is the activation of the ventral vagal complex. you cannot allow if your body is actively signaling danger.
It's impossible.
The steady rhythm of aligned habits builds the biological safety required for genuine allowance.
Exactly. And even looking at Eckhart Tolle, alignment is fundamentally a practice of presence, a repeated re-entry into the now. It's not a permanent achievement you tick off a list.
The return is the rhythm.
It's always about coming back to the stillness that underlies the activity.
And we can't overlook the profound power of ritual here. Across cultures and spiritual traditions, rituals have always served as energetic anchors. They stabilize intention and align body, mind, and meaning through predictability.
And modern research on predictability and safety confirms that these rituals regulate the nervous system, proving that the energetic anchor is also a biological anchor.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, when we know what is coming, even if it's just a 30-second breathing sequence or pressing play on a track, the nervous system feels safe. Safety equals coherence. Coherence equals alignment.
So, what does this all mean for the listener? When science and spirit meet on the subject of habits, alignment stops being mystical, abstract, or purely energetic. It starts being profoundly practical. It's a mechanism. It's a process of setting your system to the default state you prefer, using small, repeated, resonant actions.
So well said.
Now that we understand both the energetic and the biological mechanics of consistency, the why, the how, and the mechanism, let's move into the real-time workshop portion of our deep dive.
Yes.
We want you to feel these concepts in your body, not just hear them in your mind.
That's right. These aren't concepts. They're habits you can feel. So wherever you are, just allow your attention to come back into your body for a moment. You don't need to change anything yet. Just arrive. Let your shoulders soften a millimeter.
We'll start with the alignment habit builder. This is about choosing one single resonant habit, free from pressure and free from complexity.
Okay.
Take a slow, anchoring breath.
Now ask yourself, very gently, what is one small action that helps me feel more like myself? This shouldn't be about being productive. It shouldn't be impressive. It should just feel familiar and stabilizing. It should feel like a relief.
Let an answer rise without analyzing it too much. It might be something incredibly simple, something you can do almost anywhere.
Yeah.
Like stepping outside for 1 minute to feel the air, or putting your hand on your chest and taking 3 deep, audible breaths.
Or turning off all stimulation 15 minutes before bed. Or maybe simply deciding to listen to a gentle guided track before sleep.
Now, here is the somatic test. Notice how your body responds when you imagine doing this habit consistently. If your shoulders drop, if your breath deepens slightly, if there's even a hint of relief in your jaw or your belly, that's your cue. That is the resonance telling you, yes, this is my alignment habit.
That feeling of relief is the nervous system registering a return to safety.
And here's the key piece of advice. You don't need 10 habits to manage your alignment. That just creates friction.
It really does.
You need one habit that you'll actually return to easily without needing enormous willpower. Hold that singular habit in your mind as we solidify the nightly anchor.
This brings us to the nightly alignment habit. Press, play, and release. This is the ultimate tool for entrusting alignment to your rest, which we've established is the most powerful time for recalibration. So tonight, and ideally every night, simply choose one guided sleep meditation, visualization, or alignment track. As you get into bed, press play.
And the beauty is your only job is listening, not concentrating. This isn't a task.
Yeah.
If your mind wanders, that's fine. Just bring your attention gently back to the voice or the soundscape. If you fall asleep in the first few minutes, that is perfect.
In fact, falling asleep quickly is often a sign of deep trust. The habit isn't about staying awake for the whole session and memorizing the words. The habit is entrusting alignment to rest, removing the conscious need to fix yourself or force the shift.
Night after night, your nervous system learns that new default. Sleep equals safety. Sleep equals recalibration. You remove the resistance by physically setting yourself up for success. And over time, the subtle but powerful outcome is that you wake up closer to yourself, closer to your desired state than you were when you went to bed. The rhythm is established.
Now that you have that foundational nightly anchor, let's talk about how to reconnect with your state throughout the day without needing to disrupt your work or your commitments. We call this the daily state setter.
And it's all about microshifts.
Exactly.
This practice takes less than 30 seconds, and we're going to do it now, together. So wherever you are, allow yourself to pause completely. If you're driving or operating machinery, just listen. Don't close your eyes. For everyone else, just allow yourself to arrive in this very specific moment.
Now, ask yourself, what state am I in right now? And there's no judgment here, listener. You're just noticing the data. Am I rushed? Am I mildly irritated? Am I neutral? Am I focused? Just notice the subtle physiological texture of your current state.
Now, also the follow-up. What state would feel more aligned right now? Maybe it's calmer, more grounded, more open or accepting. You don't need to jump all the way there or try to fix the situation that might be causing the current state. We are only changing the internal operating system.
Instead, choose the smallest possible shift, a microshift. One deeper, slower breath into your belly, relaxing your jaw or softening your gaze away from the point of focus. Exhaling a little longer than you inhale, which sends that immediate safety signal to your nervous system. Do that now. One small adjustment.
That's it. That is the microshift. This is how alignment stays accessible, not by demanding massive overhauls of your external circumstances,
No.
but by making those tiny, gentle adjustments in your internal system in real time. We are training a ventral vagal complex to switch back on faster.
Yes, we are. Finally, let's zoom out. Alignment isn't just a daily practice. It's something we reflect on and refine weekly. This is the weekly debrief practice.
This practice stabilizes your frequency over the long term.
It really does.
Imagine it's the end of your week, Sunday evening or Monday morning, whenever you have a quiet moment. You are not evaluating yourself or giving yourself grades. You're simply listening to the rhythm of your life, collecting feedback. Take a deep, settling breath.
Okay. Ask yourself this first question. What supported my alignment this week? Let one or two moments, habits, or interactions come to mind. Maybe it was the consistent nightly track.
Right.
Maybe it was saying no to an optional evening commitment. Just notice the feeling of ease those things brought.
Now ask, what drained me, even slightly? And again, no judgment. This is just pure information, pure energetic feedback. Was it staying up too late, even if you felt productive? Was it forcing a conversation or a social interaction that felt taxing? Was it doom scrolling for too long? Note the feeling of contraction or subtle tension.
And finally, ask, what do I want to carry forward into next week? It might be scheduling in 10 minutes of silence. It might be honoring the need for rest. It might be setting a new boundary you need to protect your energy. Take a breath and let that intention settle in your body. Don't plan the how yet, just set the intention for the what.
This practice conserves energy because you stop repeating patterns that deplete you. It stabilizes your frequency through familiarity and self-awareness. These tools don't demand energy, they give it back. They don't raise your frequency through enormous effort. They stabilize it through rhythmic, consistent return.
And when these foundational habits slip, which happens to all of us, me included, that is not a sign of failure.
No.
It is just data. It's information. So let's talk about how to recognize when alignment is drifting and how to gently, analytically return.
This is what we call manifestation debug mode. Let's clear that static and tune into magic. This is the time where we get curious, not critical.
Nothing here means you're fundamentally doing anything wrong. It just means your system is asking for recalibration, and we need to run a quick, compassionate diagnostic.
Step 1. Notice the static. Body check. Take a deep breath. Now ask yourself, without trying to fix anything, what does misalignment feel like in my body right now? Be specific.
You might notice a tight chest, shallow breathing that stays high up, mental noise that sounds like a busy radio station, or a strong sense of urgency with nowhere specific to go. Just notice it and name it, perhaps internally.
And naming it is already the first shift.
It is, because it introduces awareness and detachment.
Now listen for these common signals that your habits may be lowering your frequency. You feel rushed even when time isn't tight, which signals a hypervigilant nervous system. You're consuming information but not integrating it, leading to mental clutter. You're reacting quickly and reflecting rarely. Or you feel slightly disconnected from your body or your intuition.
And if one of those lands strongly, that's okay. It's not a problem. It's just a pointer back toward the rhythm.
Alicia, I have to ask the critical question here. When we focus so intently on noticing the static, doesn't that sometimes just increase the mental pressure and make us more anxious about the static itself? How do we notice without amplifying?
That's where the gentle instruction comes in, Jared. We are noticing the physical sensation, not judging the reason for the sensation.
Okay.
We treat the tightness in the chest like a neutral piece of data, like observing the weather. If you just say, oh, my chest is tight, without adding the story, my chest is tight because I failed, you stop the amplification. The goal is observation without evaluation.
That distinction, observation without evaluation, is the key to making this analytical rather than emotional.
Yeah.
That brings us to step 2. Remove the pressure. Reframing effort.
Here's the reframe that completely changes your relationship with alignment. You don't need to raise your frequency. You need to stop overriding it. Your natural frequency is already coherent and whole. The effort comes from trying to push through resistance.
Take another breath, maybe one that's a little deeper, and ask yourself, what am I pushing through right now that could soften? It might be staying up too late, forcing productivity on an exhausted mind, mentally rehearsing conversations in the shower.
Oh, that's a big one.
Or skipping a meal because you feel there's still more to do. You don't have to change it yet. Just let your body register the truth of the effort you're exerting.
And that awareness alone immediately lowers the static by acknowledging the truth of the resistance.
Step 3. Recenter through a trusted habit. Now, without thinking about all the things you should be doing, bring to mind the one habit that reliably brings you back to yourself, that single resonant habit you identified earlier. Picture yourself doing this habit, not perfectly, just naturally, easily. Notice what happens in your body as you imagine it. Maybe the shoulders drop, maybe the hands relax. This is your immediate recalibration point. Alignment doesn't require creativity in moments of stress. It requires familiarity.
Oh, that's good.
Return beats reinvention every time.
Yeah.
You don't need a new technique. You need your reliable anchor.
Step 4. Reset the narrative. Now let's consciously shift the internal story that often comes with misalignment, that sense of failure or self-criticism. Silently repeat this mantra and feel it land in your belly. Nothing has gone wrong. I'm just returning.
Misalignment is feedback. It's an internal system check. And feedback means your system is still connected. It's still communicating with you. You didn't break anything.
No.
Take one more slow breath and feel your system settle just a little more. That gentle settling is the reset.
Finally, step 5. Anchor the reset for tonight. Before we move into our final visualization, let's anchor this return into something supremely practical.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what is one way I can support your alignment tonight? Not forever, just tonight.
Maybe it's turning off the screens 30 minutes earlier, making a cup of calming tea, or making the firm commitment to listening to a guided sleep meditation, letting alignment happen while you rest. Make that your single, non-negotiable commitment for tonight. This is how alignment becomes sustainable. One night, one commitment, one rhythmic return at a time.
Debugging alignment isn't about catching yourself doing it wrong. It's about noticing the subtle signals sooner and returning more gently to a trusted rhythm.
Hmm.
And the more you practice this rhythmic return, the less static builds up in the first place, allowing your natural frequency to hold steady.
Now that we've cleared some of that static together and defined our anchor, let's guide this shift all the way through so your body doesn't just understand alignment, it remembers it somatically.
Mm.
We're moving into our final visualization journey, anchoring the power of rest and return.
Breathe deeply as you settle further into whatever you are resting on. If it's safe for you, allow your eyes to close or simply soften your gaze. Feel your body fully supported. Allow the chair or the floor to take the weight you no longer need to carry.
We invite you to imagine the day loosening its grip like setting down a heavy backpack, or the set of worries you've been carrying on your shoulders. With every breath you take, feel the need for analysis, the need for effort, and the need for urgency gently softening.
Feel your internal rhythm steadying. Imagine a quiet internal dial gently turning, not dramatically, but just enough to return you to your natural center. That familiar, calm, clear, grounded frequency that you know is already there, beneath the noise.
Now picture that one simple aligned habit you chose earlier. See yourself returning to it easily without effort. It is a path of least resistance. Silently repeat this simple phrase to anchor this truth deep into your system. I don't chase alignment, I return to it. Feel the profound relief that comes with that realization.
Let's allow alignment to happen the way it does most easily, without forcing. Imagine it's the natural, gentle end of your day. The lights are lower, the air is still. Feel your body becoming heavier, settling into the mattress or the cushion beneath you. There is nothing left to decide or solve for the next 8 hours. You are fully supported.
Picture all the demanding experiences of the day. The emails, the complex conversations, the passing thoughts, the lingering emotions, gently loosening their grip on your attention. They're not disappearing. They are settling. Imagine thoughts settling like snow that's been swirling in the air finally falling to the ground, creating a quiet, smooth, expansive landscape within your mind.
With every slow breath, your nervous system recalibrates. You don't have to think your way into alignment. You don't have to fix anything that happened today. Alignment happens when the body feels safe enough to release. Feel that safety now.
Imagine that quiet internal dial settling entirely, confirming that return to your natural center frequency, the one that feels calm, clear, and familiar. This is the state where profound realignment happens most easily. This is why intentional rest is such a powerful reset.
And this intentional rest allows for the deep processing and clearing we talked about earlier. When you fall asleep in this supported, gently realigned state, you are not carrying the static of the day into tomorrow. You are letting alignment do the foundational work for you while you rest.
You don't have to listen every night perfectly or achieve a perfect state of surrender. You just have to commit to the rhythm of the return. Feel the sense of profound relief that comes with knowing that alignment is something you can restore every single night.
As you gently return your attention back to the room, notice how your body feels different now. Quieter, perhaps heavier and less compressed. Carry this feeling of centeredness with you.
We've traveled a wonderful and deep distance together today. We started with a gentle realization that true alignment isn't sustained through emotional intensity or massive striving, but through a consistent, familiar rhythm.
We connected that rhythm to the crucial insight that sleep is not just recovery, it's full recalibration. It's a chance to set your frequency while your conscious resistance is low.
Right. And we grounded these spiritual principles in the beautiful synergy of neuroscience, showing how repetition builds neural safety, emotional coherence, and a regulated nervous system.
We walked through the real-time tools for building that single aligned habit, making micro shifts throughout the day and creating that gentle weekly debrief.
And we learned that misalignment isn't failure, but rather essential feedback. And it's easily corrected by noticing sooner and returning gently to what you already know works.
The clear takeaway for today, the core soundbite to carry forward is this. Alignment isn't a destination. It's a practice of return. The life you create doesn't come from your biggest, most effortful intentions. It comes from the habits you embody. Small, steady, aligned.
So we offer you this practical challenge this week. Add one aligned habit, not to perfect it, just to practice it. Commit to the rhythm and trust the mechanism.
And if this deep dive supported you and you are ready to implement that crucial nightly recalibration habit, we invite you to visit our YouTube channel. There, you'll find the specific guided sleep meditations, visualizations, and alignment tracks designed to support this nightly return, allowing alignment to do the work while you rest deeply and safely.
Thank you for spending this time allowing us to dive deep with you.
And to everyone listening, be kind to your rhythm. Trust what you return to.
Have a wonderful and healthy week.
We look forward to connecting with you again soon.